Welcome to the Shreveport Connection with Tommy. This video is on your SmackDown 205 Live results and also WWE main event, since I didn't get the results from Monday Night Raw as it normally taped on that day. Nothing was posted. Of course, no audience to post them. But birthdays, and this is for March the 27th. Birthdays for March the 24th, Lana, 1985. The Pope, 1978. Jack Swagger, 1982. Undertaker, 1965. Christopher Daniels, 1971. Mary Horowitz, the winner, 1960. Epico Cologne, 1982. Lacey Evans, 1990. All the way, there wasn't any birthdays, 25th or 26th. So we got March 27th birthdays. Charlie Haas, 1972. SoCal Val, 1986. 28th birthdays. Umaga, 1973. Warlord, 1962. And Mustafa Ali, 1986. The Rock's Justice League Black Adam movie announcement. Breakdown and Easter eggs at this link. Samoa Joe is now eligible to return to action as he was cleared. WWE announced back in February 25th that Joe has been suspended for 30 days due to his first violation of the wellness policy. The suspension went into effect on Monday, February 24th. And now, so there you go, 30 days. No word yet when Joe will be brought back to work for the WrestleMania 36 tapings, which are scheduled from earlier in the week. And it was noted that on Thursday, a cease and desist order, everybody stay at home order from Tampa area. And not only Tampa, but Orange County, Florida. As he was put on the shelf after suffering a reported concussion from taking a bad table bump during a WWE commercial shoot in early February, which would have been Joe's second concussion in less than 1 month. Joe suffered a broken thumb back in September and did not return to the ring until late December. He then suffered a concussion while doing a dive on the January 27th Raw episode, returned to action for 1 week, then suffered a second concussion while filming the commercial. Brock Lesnar's brother coming to WWE can be found in this link. It is believed that WWE may tape Night 1 of WrestleMania 36 on Wednesday and then Night 2 on Thursday. But it was noted on the Wrestling Observer Radio that they already finished some of the bigger matches. It was noted that WWE crew has been working hard to get everything taped, even Raw and SmackDown prior to WrestleMania. And probably even Raw after WrestleMania taped, because they won't be cleared to return until the 10th, as you'll hear later on in the video. And have apparently filmed several of the top matches already. Also, other episodes of Raw and SmackDown. Also noted on Tuesday, local officials in Orange County, Florida, announced that the stay-at-home order is to go into effect beginning Thursday night, midnight. WWE is working to have everything taped before the order began, and will reportedly have everything taped until Raw after WrestleMania 36. No word yet on if they will tape the post-WrestleMania Raw as well. I was reading some other sites, and yes, they did. But it was rumored at one point. WWE will be able to edit the order of WrestleMania 36 matches for the final product because they are being filmed ahead of time. We're not sure of multiple locations that they're taping at, besides the Performance Center in Orlando, but WWE NXT Arena, Full Sail Live, on the campus of Full Sail University, is believed to be another location, due to the fact of the Boneyard match between Undertaker and AJ Styles. No other concrete details from day one of the tapings are available as of this video. But as soon as I get news, I'll let you know. Possibly by Raw video. Night 1 of WrestleMania 36 will air Saturday, April 4th. Night 2 will air Sunday, April 5th. As WWE has not indicated that there will be a kickoff pre-show this year. Current WrestleMania 36 start time for most nights at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 p.m. Central. And on WWE Network. As noted, Orange County, Florida, officials have issued stay-at-home order that will go into effect at 11 p.m. Eastern Time, not midnight. Orange County includes Orlando and Winter Park, where the WWE Performance Center and Full Sail University are located. The order is scheduled to expire on Thursday, April 9th. Ryan Satin of the WWE Backstage noted on Twitter that WWE has already filmed matches for the April 6th post-WrestleMania 36 edition of Raw. So there you go. Confirmed. It was also noted that it appeared that WWE will continue to film at the Performance Center once the order is lifted on April 9th. The post-WrestleMania edition of SmackDown on Fox will air on April 10th. The order going on into effect is why WWE has been filming several shows early, including WrestleMania 36, as noted before, how WWE reportedly filmed several of the top WrestleMania 36 matches on Wednesday, with the second set of WrestleMania tapings for Thursday, where I posted the news. News from my notepad was on Thursday. Of course, SmackDown was on Friday. Satin noted that they've also filmed a few of the off-site matches already, which could be the Boneyard match with AJ Styles and Undertaker, among others. Still no official word what matches will air on Saturday and which ones will be on Sunday. But they did mention which ones will be taped. No. It didn't say which ones would be used, just ones would tape. WWE announced that non-subscribers will be given free access to a large part of the WWE network. WWE will be only free access for a short period of time, according to PW Insider. Promotion was done to give fans something to watch and pass the time by as they practice social distancing and being responsible during the ongoing coronavirus pandemic. SmackDown Tag Team Champions, The Miz, did not work the WrestleMania event, so their tag team match was canceled. The Miz was in Orlando, but did not work the show. According to PW Insider, it was noted on Wrestling Observer Radio, The Miz was sick, which played a factor in Roman Reigns deciding not to work the show against Goldberg. No other details on Miz being sick were available as of this video, but did not work the WrestleMania 36 tapings in Orlando. Miz, no other details on Miz, but I heard read that Goldberg did face none other than Braun Strowman. No results have been posted of any of the matches. They're trying to keep it hush-hush. Well, tonight's SmackDown on Fox was to feature the New Day versus News host, with the winner challenging The Miz and Morrison for their titles at WrestleMania 36. No word yet on what happened to the title match at WrestleMania, but keep you updated. Thus, Miz being sick, they had to go do other issues. WrestleMania 36 was taped this week and is scheduled to air on 4th and 5th of April on the WWE Network. Hall of Famer Bullet Ball Armstrong continues to train and work out more than 1 year into his fight with bone cancer. There are reports going around the internet noting that Armstrong was just diagnosed with bone cancer. That is incorrect, and he has revealed last year that he was fighting the disease and was not going through treatment. Noted back in April 2019, Bob appeared on the Chair Shots to the Cranium podcast and revealed that he had been diagnosed with bone cancer. The wrestling legend said then that he was not going to take any chemotherapy treatment. I'm fighting bone cancer and I'm not going to take any chemotherapy or anything like that. I'm just going to let nature take its course and so far I'm winning the battle, Bob said in April 2019. New reports stem from a tweet Bob's son made on Thursday. Former WWE referee and current producer Scott Armstrong tweeted a photo of his 80-year-old father working out at his home. I noted that he's got the bone cancer in his ribs, shoulder, and prostate. Scott wrote, "Today, my 80-year-old dad at WWE Hall of Famer Bullet Bob asked if he could come over to get a workout. He got bone cancer in his ribs, shoulder, and prostate, and chose not to go through any treatment. His choice. I put 30 pounds on there, and he said, 'Give me 100 pounds. Hashtag motivation, smiling face with a sunglasses emoji.'" And you can see, I thought I got the link, but I guess I did not. So I didn't get the link. But other replies, even from Road Dogg, his other son, Bill DeMott, the Singh brothers, Hall of Famer Gerald Briscoe, Scott D'Amore, Scotty Riggs, and the Hall of Famer and producer Michael Hayes, and WWE producers Hurricane Helms and Lance Storm. Shelton Benjamin is the latest WWE superstar to call on pro wrestling fans to support indie wrestlers during the coronavirus pandemic. As you know, they're only part-time wrestlers anyways, maybe once a month. To support them. Benjamin took to Twitter overnight and commented on indie wrestlers who have no revenue coming in as their bookings have been canceled due to the corona outbreak. Amazing talents not on a WWE roster are going to have a tough struggle with $0 coming in due to the coronavirus pandemic. So if you have the means to support your favorite independent wrestlers, buy their merchandise and support their platforms. Hashtag support indie wrestling. We are all in this together, Benjamin tweeted. Indie wrestlers around the world have lost bookings due to events being canceled because of restrictions placed on gatherings amid the coronavirus pandemic. Also noted, Mustafa Ali recently offered his support to indie wrestlers as well, as did Leo Rush, which I did mention a little bit last week. You can see, you can hear Benjamin's full tweet here, along with the replies from Impact World Tag Team Champion Ethan Page, Eric Cannon, and AJ Kirsch. At Shelty 803, Shelton Benjamin's account, amazing talents not on the WWE roster are going to have a tough struggle with $0 coming in due to the coronavirus pandemic. If you have the means, support your favorite independent wrestler, buy their merch, and support their platforms. Hashtag supporting indie wrestling. We are all in this together. Braun will be reportedly replacing Roman Reigns against Goldberg for the championship at WrestleMania 36, according to Dave Meltzer on Wrestling Observer Radio. Reigns pulled out of the match with Goldberg earlier in the week. Pro Wrestling Sheet first reported on Thursday that Reigns wasn't comfortable competing at the Performance Center since he is immunocompromised from his battle with leukemia. Meltzer reported that Reigns was actually at the Performance Center when he made the call himself to pull out of the match. It was noted that Miz being sick and the Usos not being happy about it played into Reigns' decision. Meltzer noted that the Strowman vs. Goldberg match was taped, and it is believed that an angle to build the match was shot at the Performance Center that will be inserted into this Friday's episode of SmackDown. I didn't see anything posted, as you will hear the results later on. WrestleMania 36 was taped this week and is scheduled to air on the 4th and 5th on the WWE Network. Add Murphy to the list of superstars who were pulled from TV and WrestleMania 36 tapings. Murphy was originally scheduled to appear during Monday's Raw episode from the Performance Center, likely to the segment with Seth Rollins. PW Insider reports that he was not cleared to appear. No word yet on why Murphy wasn't cleared, but it was noted that he will not be appearing at WrestleMania 36, which was taped this week to air on Saturday, April 4th, and Sunday, April 5th. Murphy was not scheduled for a match at WrestleMania 36, but it's likely they had plans for him to appear with Rollins for a singles match against Kevin Owens. The match is still on, but nobody in his corner because of AOP. One of the guys is also injured as well. WWE SmackDown Tag Team Champion The Miz reportedly did not work the 36 tapings in Orlando. Got it like 3 times posted. Tonight's SmackDown on Fox was a feature to New Day. I think I got that as well. Challenging The Miz and Morrison for the titles at WrestleMania 36. But I think Morrison still will be in action and will be facing one of the Usos in singles action. This week's main event episode, which is now on Hulu, was filmed at the Performance Center. Like last week's show, main event was usually taped before Raw on Mondays in the same arena. The announcer for this week were Tom Phillips and Byron Saxton. Matches taped saw WWE Women's Tag Team Champion Asuka defeat NXT superstars Caden Carter, while Humberto Carrillo defeated Danny Burch from NXT. Both superstars from NXT. Last week's episode featured Byron and Mickey James on commentary, with Aleister Black defeating Leon Ruff and Raw Tag Team Champion Angelo Dawkins defeating Murphy. The main event opening a video kicked off with the show after the usual WWE signatures. Raw Women's Tag Team Champion Asuka made her entrance as Byron Saxton and Tom Phillips checked on commentary. Caden Carter makes her entrance. They got the match. They lock up. Asuka slams Carter to the mat. Carter ducks a clothesline attempt by Asuka. Carter locks in the waistlock on Asuka. Asuka elbows Carter in the face. Carter drop kicks Asuka. Asuka eventually locks in an arm lock on Carter. Carter gets out of it and slaps the chest of Asuka. Asuka pushes Carter. Carter drop kicks Asuka again. Asuka dodges another drop kick attempt by Carter. Asuka pulls Carter to the mat by her hair. Asuka kicks Carter in the face. Asuka locks in Asuka lock as Carter taps out. Recap from SmackDown featuring Rob Gronkowski's debut. Recap from SmackDown featuring contract signing between Roman Reigns and Goldberg. So that's null and void. Recap from Raw is shown featuring Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar was shown in-ring promo. Humberto Carrillo and Danny Burch made their entrance. Danny Burch versus Humberto Carrillo. They lock up. Carrillo briefly locks in a waistlock on Burch before they exchange wrist locks. Burch hits a modified snapmare on Carrillo. Carrillo eventually kicks Burch in the face. Carrillo rolls backwards and into a standing moonsault on Burch. Carrillo pins Burch for a 2 count. Carrillo runs towards Burch in the corner. Burch gets out of the way. Burch hits a German suplex on Carrillo. Burch pins Carrillo for a 2 count. Burch goes for a suplex. Carrillo gets out of it. Carrillo hits a springboard kick from the second rope on Burch. Carrillo hits a moonsault from the top turnbuckle on Burch. And Carrillo pins Burch for the win. Recap from Raw was shown to close out the show, featuring Randy Orton accepting Edge's challenge to a last man standing match at WrestleMania. SmackDown on Fox opens up with the usual video, live on tape from the empty Performance Center in Orlando, Florida. Michael Cole welcomes us. He hypes tonight's matches. I believe he was the only one broadcasting. Usos versus the New Day to determine WrestleMania 36 opponents for SmackDown Tag Team Champions The Miz and John Morrison. WWE's Tag Team Champion Asuka versus Alexa Bliss, Bray Wyatt's Firefly Funhouse, and more. We'll also get a look at Roman Reigns versus Triple H from WrestleMania 32 and in anticipation of Reigns versus Goldberg. We go right to the ring. Out comes Sasha Banks with SmackDown Champion Bayley. Cole Heights, Bayley's WrestleMania 36 Fatal 5-Way Elimination Match with Banks, Naomi, Tamina Snuka, and Evans. I believe I told you from Raw video that Dana Brooke has been removed as she's been quarantined along with Rey Mysterio. Banks and Bayley hit the ring with mics and talked about WrestleMania 36. They talk about how special the event is, but say that the WrestleMania is a nightmare for them. Bayley goes on about Paige trying to put them against each other. Bayley says there is no separating them. They're like peanut butter and jelly. Right? Sasha doesn't look like she's about to agree with Bayley. Before she can speak, the music hits and out comes Evans. Evans then takes a shot at Banks and Bayley, calls her a loser, and Banks says she has a bratty little daughter. Evans goes on about how she will take care of Banks and Bayley at WrestleMania, taking the title from. Music interrupts, out comes Naomi. Naomi runs down and Banks and Bayley and says that the glow will shine bright at WrestleMania. Bayley says this isn't going to be one of those nights where everyone comes out and interrupts. Music hits and out comes Tamina. Tamina enters the ring and stares everyone down. She says actions speak louder than words. Snooker drops Naomi with a headbutt. Then Evans with a super kick. Banks and Bayley go after Naomi in the corner for a beatdown and backs into Snooker instead. Banks and Bayley exit the ring, back at the ramp after Bayley grabs her title. Comes back and grabs her title. Tamina looks on from the ring. There's them now as Evans and Naomi recover on the mat. So to come segment, Drew Gulak versus Shinsuke Nakamura with WrestleMania 36 implications for Daniel Bryan. Back to commercial. Back for the break, we see recent happenings with Daniel Bryan, Drew Gulak, Sami Zayn, Cesaro, and Shinsuke. The match is up. We go back to the ring. Out comes Drew Gulak with Daniel Bryan as Greg Hamilton does the ring introductions. Shinsuke was out with Cesaro and Intercontinental Champion Sami Zayn. If Gulak wins the match, Bryan gets the WrestleMania 36 title shot from Zayn. Zayn joins Cole on commentary. Nakamura takes control early on and beats Gulak down. Nakamura drives knees and keeps control. Gulak eventually explodes out of the corner and unloads on Nakamura. Gulak takes Nakamura against the ropes and beats him down. As the referee warns him, Cesaro pulls Nakamura to safety on the outside. Referee talks to Gulak and warns him in the ring. Gulak ends up on the outside as Nakamura delivers a big kick against the announce table while Sami yells at him. Bryan walks over and Sami yells at him. Nakamura brings Gulak back in the ring, but Gulak goes for the leg and turns it around. Gulak works on the leg some more while Nakamura tied up on the ropes. Gulak unloads on Nakamura in the corner while Cesaro talks trash from the floor. Gulak misses a running kick in the corner. Nakamura the flying knee for the second rope for a 2 count. Bryan tries to rally for Gulak at ringside. Nakamura has Gulak grounded. Nakamura drives a knee and keeps control. They get back up and trade strikes, but Nakamura rocks Gulak and slams him face first into the mat. Nakamura calls for the Kinshasa, but Bryan provides an assist, pushing Gulak out of the way. This allows Gulak to get the win, get the pin for the win. As the referee didn't see anything, even up the score. After the match, Gulak and Bryan celebrate as Bryan is going to WrestleMania to face Zayn for the title. Sami throws a fit and yells out to go to replays. Bryan and Gulak continue taunting Sami, and the crew is on the ramp now. Shelton comes second, Asuka versus Bliss, plus the Firefly Funhouse. Back to commercial. Back for the break, Cole Saw confirms Bryan versus Zayn for the Intercontinental title at WrestleMania 36. Cole shows us what happened between Dolph Ziggler and Otis last week. Otis snapped after Ziggler displayed photos of he and Mandy Rose on the big screen. We see Ziggler backstage talking on his phone to Rose when the intentional glitch once again flashes across the screen. Otis and Tucker run up, but officials stop them from attacking Ziggler. Ziggler taunts Otis as officials hold him back. I myself didn't see the glitch myself to see if it was the same glitch that revealed it was indeed Killer Cross. Otis and Ziggler agree on WrestleMania match, and Ziggler says Mandy will be in his corner. We go back to the ring area, and Elias is up on the perch with his guitar. He thanks everyone for allowing him into their homes. He brings up how WrestleMania Host Rob Gronkowski thought it would be good for Elias to face King Corbin at the big event. Before he gets there, Elias wants Corbin to hear his latest song. Elias starts to perform the song about WrestleMania and Corbin. Elias thanks the capacity crowd here at the Performance Center and goes to wrap up, but Corbin attacks him and destroys him. Elias is hanging on to the railing of the perch as Corbin taunts him and works him over. Elias tries to climb back up, but Corbin uses his scepter to knock Elias down to the floor below, about 10-15 feet below. Elias falls from up high and is laid out. Officials rush over and calls for help to come to assist Elias. Back to commercial. Back with the ring, we see what just happened to Elias. Coleslaw plays up the seriousness of the situation and calls it horrific attack. Cole says Elias is being transferred to a local medical facility, and we will try to learn how this impacts King Corbin versus Elias match at WrestleMania. Asuka versus Alexa Bliss. We go back to the ring. Out comes Asuka. No sign of Kairi Sane. Alexa Bliss is out next with Nikki Cross. Well, if Sane is out, then there probably won't be a tag team championship match for them at WrestleMania. Coleslaw is joined at the announce table by Cross. The bell rings. And this is your first commentary of the night, other than Coleslaw. The bell rings. Asuka has words for Bliss. Bliss tells her to bring it. Bliss ducks and taunts Asuka. They have more words before going at it. Bliss unloads with forearms. They run the ropes, and Bliss nails a drop kick for a 2 count. Bliss keeps Asuka grounded with a headlock. Gets free and drops Bliss with a shoulder. Asuka mocks Cross from the ring. Crowd starts to rally the empty crowd as Asuka keeps Bliss down. And she kept getting from the announce table, getting on the announce table and getting sitting back down. On the table, off the table. Bliss comes back and sends Asuka out to the floor. Bliss mocks Asuka from the ring. Asuka comes back to the apron and they have words. Bliss sends Asuka back down to the floor. Bliss follows, but Asuka kicks her and then launches her into steel ring steps. Asuka stands tall on the floor and taunts Cross as we go back to commercial. Back from the break, Asuka has Bliss grounded in the middle of the ring. Asuka rocks her with a kick and strikes against the ropes. Asuka mocks Cross again. Asuka ends up missing a hip attack as Bliss kicks her in the back and she goes down. Asuka turns it around and then tackles on the apron, but Bliss counters and slams Asuka face first into the apron by her arm. Bliss brings her back in the ring for a close 2 count. Bliss continues to focus on the arm. Bliss with a big kick. Asuka charges but misses as Bliss moves. Asuka hits the turnbuckles real hard. Bliss with a close out and more right hands. Bliss goes on but misses a moonsault as Asuka moves. Rolling to the floor, Bliss chases Asuka back to the apron. Dropping her face first into her apron. Bliss keeps control and brings Asuka back in for a 2 count. Then another. Cross is extra annoying on commentary tonight. Asuka goes for the Asuka lock, but Bliss rams her back into the corner to break the hold. Bliss rolls Asuka out of the corner and does a big DDT in the middle of the ring for the pin and the win. Winner of the match, Alexa Bliss. After the match, Cross hits the ring to celebrate with Bliss as the music hits. We go to replays. Cross and Bliss hug in the ring as Asuka crawls to the outside. Usos are backstage getting hyped up for tonight's match with a New Day. Also still to come, a look back at Roman Reigns versus Triple H from WrestleMania 32. Back to commercial. Back from a break, we get hype for WrestleMania 36 and how night 1 is just 8 days away. Coleslaw talks about former NFL tight end Gronkowski serving as host. Coleslaw shows us a replay from Roman Reigns Triple H at WrestleMania 32 in 2016. We take a commercial break, come back to the match. We take another commercial break, we'll come back, get one more break before seeing Reigns' big title win that night. Coleslaw comes back and is joined by Triple H, who is back in the back. He asked for a prediction on Reigns versus Universal Champion Bill Goldberg at WrestleMania 36. Triple H talks about how both men bring major intensity in the ring, but different kinds. Triple H then says Reigns' intensity increases as the match goes on. If the match goes quick, he believes Goldberg will win. But if it goes long and Reigns can withstand the initial onslaught of Goldberg, then Reigns will build and build until Goldberg runs out of gas and the big dog wins the title. Cole hypes Reigns versus Goldberg at WrestleMania 36, and there has been no mention of Reigns not wrestling at WrestleMania 36. Still scheduled, but they'll probably do it this coming Friday, next week's Friday. Due to illness, he's been pulled from the match. They'll probably do a warm-up match with Braun Strowman winning the match. Just my prediction. We go backstage to the New Day to get hyped for tonight's big match with the Usos. Still to come, Bray Wyatt's Firefly Funhouse. Back to commercial. Back to break. Dolph Ziggler is with Sonya Deville in the back. He's talking about what Heavy Machinery did earlier. Mandy Rose walks up and greets him. Remember, this was predicted to be a tag team match. Mixed tag, but wait and see. Deville leaves to handle some business. Rose asks Ziggler why he's doing all this to Otis. Ziggler downplays it and says he deserves it. Rose asks if he really had to rub the photos in. Rose says she's all for their match at WrestleMania, but she refuses to let them fight over her like some prize. Ziggler looks ahead to all these being over, then walks off with his arm around Rose. We go to the Firefly Funhouse. Bray Wyatt welcomes us. He's super excited to see us. Supposedly, we'll see the head lantern. As Wyatt tells it to shut up because it had its chance but failed against John Cena. Wyatt says he won't fail. The Fiend, Abby the Witch, speaks and asks Wyatt if he now has a secret recipe to defeat Cena or something. Wyatt pulls out a blender and various ingredients, including hot sauce, disappointment, rage, and resentment. Ramblin' Rabbit appears with a carrot that will help him see Cena. Wyatt grabs Rabbit and says this is what he was missing. Some irrelevant opinions. He adds Rabbit to the blender as Rabbit pleads and screams. Wyatt laughs and he blends the smoothie up. Wyatt does some more comedy and says he's created a perfect smoothie for him to defeat Cena at WrestleMania. Wyatt says Cena deserves a WrestleMania match that's not ordinary, especially since he is anything but ordinary. The Fiend wants Cena to step into their world. Wyatt says the Fiend is now challenging Cena to a Firefly Funhouse match. Wyatt drinks a smoothie and says there is just one. Nasty sound effect. He gets serious and stares at the camera, and the Fiend flashes across the screen, and the segment ends. New Day versus Usos were up next. Tonight's main event. Out comes SmackDown Tag Team Champions Miz and Morrison. They join Cole for commentary. New Day and Usos will do battle here to determine who challenges for the titles at WrestleMania 36. Back to commercial. Back to the rate. Announced for next week is a face-off between Roman Reigns and Bill Goldberg. Plus, John Cena's response to the Firefly Funhouse challenge from Bray Wyatt. We go to the ring, and out first comes Kobe and Big E of the New Day. Jimmy and Jay were out next. Jimmy starts off with Kobe and takes control early on. They run the ropes, and Jimmy catches Kobe in midair. Kobe counters, and they tackle into and out of the corner. Kobe drop kicks Jimmy, but it's blocked. Jimmy launches Kobe into the corner, but he lands on the turnbuckle and nails a springboard drop kick. Usos end up on the floor to regroup. Miz and Morrison taunt them from the announce table. Usos come back in, and Big E is the legal man. They lock up again, and Big E overpowers, launching him across the ring. Back and forth between the two teams now. Kobe goes at it with Jay. Jimmy tags in for a big double team, dropping Kobe across the top rope for a big 2 count. Big E comes in and unloads on Uso with a belly suplex. He goes for a pin, but stops and drags Uso to the apron to pound on him with the forearms from the floor. Big E goes to the apron, delivers a big splash to Uso on the edge of the apron. Back to commercial. Back for the break. Jay nails a big Samoan drop on Big E for a 2 count. Uso with a big Rikishi splash in the corner. Jimmy tags back in and charges, but Big E catches him with a big Uranagi out of the corner. Kobe tries to rally the empty arena for Big E. Kobe and Jay tag in at the same time. Kobe unloads and nails the drop kick. Kobe with more offense and a boom drop in the middle of the ring. Uso ducks the trouble in paradise and rocks Kobe. Bar back and forth out. Uso blocks the shot in midair and slams Kobe into a half crab in the middle of the ring. Kobe fights out of a crab and manages to drop Uso with an SOS in the middle of the ring. Uso kicks out 2. Kobe slides out of a hole. Uso runs into an elbow in the corner. Big E tags in for a big double team, but Kobe has to land on his feet. Uso runs in and sends Kobe into the ring post. Then super kicks Big E twice for a close 2 count. Uso's arguing with the referee. Uso double team Big E with chops in the corner now. They take Big E to the top for a double superplex, but he knocks him to the mat. Uso with a big kick, sending Big E from the top to the floor. Kobe gets brought into the ring and then gets tossed out back out, but he hangs on. Kobe counters and sends both Usos to the floor. Kobe runs the ropes and leaps out, taking the Usos back out on the floor again. Miz and Morrison are standing on the announce table now, taunting their other teams. Kobe knocks Morrison down. Uso flies over the top to take them down. Big E runs the ropes and hits a spear to knock Uso to the floor. Everyone is down now. Big E brings Uso back in, but Miz and Morrison attack Big E to force a disqualification finish. After the bell, Morrison and Miz bring both teams back into the ring and beat them up. The referee calls for them to break it up. Colesaw stands up and has breaking news for the WWE titles. He announces Miz and Morrison versus New Day versus Usos in a triple ladder match for WrestleMania 36. New Day ends up taking out Miz and Morrison, and the Usos look on from the floor. Nodding in approval, Usos music hits, and they back up the ramp. And SmackDown goes off the air. 205 Live advertised matches were Joaquin Wild versus Isaiah Swerve Scott. And the other match was Tony Nese versus O'Day Lorcan. Commentators were John Quasso and Aiden English as they welcome the fans to a brand new episode of 205 Live. First match of the night was announced. Joaquin Wild versus Isaiah Swerve Scott. Scott rolls Wild down to the mat. Wild reverses and grounds Scott with an arm block. Wild rolls Scott up into a pin. Scott wiggles it out at 2. Scott traps Wild in the corner in the ring skirt and kicks him on the side of his face. Back in the ring, Scott twists Wild's shoulder up and locks him into submission. The hold is broken after an attempted pin that Wild countered out of. Wild is up on the top post and launches Scott to the outside with a hurricanrana. Wild sends Scott towards the announce table with another hurricanrana. Scott counters with a German suplex. Wild fights back with a reverse rana. Scott counters again with a house call. Scott covers. Wild kicks out at 2. Scott wins after landing a Michinoku driver. And now your main event, Tony Nese versus O'Day Lorcan. Lorcan pushes Nese into the corner. The referee calls for Lorcan to back up. He does. They move their brawl to the middle of the ring and go back and forth with submission holds. Lorcan misses a drop kick. Lorcan overpowers Nese by beating Nese's wrist. Nese chops Lorcan's right near his stomach. Lorcan fights back with a multiple chop of his own. Nese steps out of the ring for a count. Comes back in firing shots. One of them connects right near Lorcan's jaw. Lorcan counters with 3 uppercuts. Lorcan lands a full throttle buster, covers Nice. Nice kicks out at 2. Nice gets up and flies on top of Lorcan with a springboard moonsault. Nice goes for the cover. Lorcan kicks out at 2. Nice plants Lorcan with a running knee strike. Picks up the win right after that. Winner of the match, Tony Nese. And that concludes this week's episode of 205 Live. And it also closes out my video. Thanks to the News from Wrestling Inc. for your results. And that was the first one I've seen before Lords of Pain. And same results from both. And that will conclude my video. Thanks again. Peace out. See you when I'm here. And if you don't know, brothers and sisters, just call me.